What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about the best place to attack a DB, and that is the blind spot, okay? So we're going to be talking about how you can attack the blind spot of a DB in man coverage, how you can attack the blind spot of a DB in zone coverage, and in off man. So this video is going to give you guys a lot of value in terms of how to manipulate a DB, how to run a comeback route, a stop route, a dig route with a fake throw by. So I hope this video gives you guys some value and you learn something from it. But also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to get stronger in the gym, you want specific exercises for wide receivers, right? It's not just a thrown together gym program. It's a gym program specifically for wide receivers to improve their performance on the field. If you want to get faster, more explosive, etc., check out that very first link in the description for a 2-month-long wide receiver training program where the first month, great exercise, and the second month, it's more advanced stuff, faster results. So hope we get you guys on that soon. Again, very first link in the description, 2-month-long gym program. Let's get started with this video. So first route we're going to be taking a look at here is where this receiver is going to attack the blind spot, kind of like on a post comeback route, okay? So a post comeback is especially against man coverage, especially when you got man coverage and you got to run a comeback. A great, and especially when he's like maybe like outside leverage is a great way to do it. But also it's great when he turns those hips and you want to try to get to that blind spot. Okay, I wouldn't consider this a post comeback. I don't even necessarily think that's really a route, right? I would think it's more of like a post out if you're going to be running anything off a post stem. But it's more like a vertical set, kind of looks like a post because you're attacking to the middle of the field. So when we come off here, right, great job getting that release, holding that DB, keeping him disciplined on the inside. Now when I burst up to the outside, the whole goal is to get this DB to turn his hips because that's what creates this blind spot. So if I push up vertical and I get that DB to run, how do I get this DB to run? You got to sell vertical with your eyes, pad level, and speed. Those are the three things. And then it's in the reverse order, right? You got to have speed. Speed's number one, most important. Pad level's number two, and then eyes, because the eyes he's not supposed to be looking at there anyways. He's going to be looking at those hips. So now, blind spot is going to be here. Now, what are we trying to force when we attack this blind spot of a DB? Either a slow opening, which he probably won't do, or a speed turn, because he does not want to get beat underneath on a post. Because let's talk about this. How are you guys supposed to run a post when you got inside shade, like, and he's playing like kind of hip to hip with you. He's striding hip to hip with you. If you're not able to restack, how are you supposed to run a post? How are you supposed to run a dig? You're supposed to work this almost like throw by technique or break this thing off and slip back underneath and the quarterback hits you here. So that's what we're trying to sell, right? So he takes this kind of vertical set step and you see gets to that blind spot. That DB feels you there and you got to make sure that you have speed to that blind spot. You can't break to the blind spot. I see this all the time. Then guys are super choppy with their feet and they slow down because they feel you start to chop your feet. They feel you start to slow down. They're going to sit right on this route, right? So you got to make sure that we have speed to that blind spot. I'm able to break this thing off suddenly to make this DB turn out of there, force that speed turn, then I can create some separation and get out of this route. So attacking that blind spot, when you get that DB to turn his hips and run, that's how you get separation, especially in man coverage, right? But you got to get him to turn his hips initially. If you guys don't get him to turn his hips initially when he's right here, if you guys don't come off the line and you're not, because you see how this DB kind of shuffles with him, then he turns, then he commits his hips. When we start going fast, when we start committing to this vertical portion of the route, that's what opens up that blind spot. That's what opens up you to get a lot of separation, right? And the whole reason we're able to get this separation is because he stays patient initially. Maybe we've came at him a couple times where we go here, then we take off 3 steps and run like a diamond release and slip back underneath. He stays patient. But now, as soon as you feel him start to open up and you get to the depth of the route, that's when we can push and that's when we can attack that blind spot. Let's watch this thing again, full speed one more time. So we're going to watch it right here. So it gives that little hesitation, skip, jab, push up vertical, break to the post, then snap this thing back to the sideline. Great route right there, okay? So now we're going to be looking at this receiver coming off right here, working this fake throw by technique. So now this is off of an inside release. How can we attack the blind spot of a DB? Now this is a longer developing move. So this is probably like if you're backside on a dig and the quarterback, like let's say we're on the right side of the field right here in this situation. Let's say the quarterback's going from left to right. He's going from 1 to 2, back to 3 on the opposite side of the field. So let's watch it full speed. So he comes up here, he throws him by, attacks that blind spot for a step, and you see what we forced that DB to do, right? So now we come off here. So I'm running, right? This DB's running hip to hip with me. Now, why would he be outside shade in the first place? Because he has help to the inside, okay? So that's number one. That's why this move even works. That's why this move, when you break it down really, really detailed, this is why this move works, because he's giving you the inside release because he knows he's got help to the inside. There are other defenders here, backers, safeties, whatever. So where does he not have any help? He doesn't have any help outside because that's where we want to threaten him. That's what makes him over anxious because he's coached in what? When he's outside leverage, where do you not want to get beat? You don't want to get beat to the outside. So that's the whole reason why this fake throw by works. Now, this isn't all going through this receiver's head. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is this is what you guys got to understand about this and put that reason why behind the move. Because a lot of people can tell you what to do. A lot of people can tell you what you're doing wrong, but can they tell you how to fix it? And can they tell you the reasoning behind it? That's the key, and that's how you guys get better. If you guys can understand the reason why, that's how you'll get better. So when we come off here, what are we trying to sell, right? We're trying to sell like I'm running an out route with an inside release. So if you're running out route with an inside release, it's the same principles, right? Just like a post route with an outside release. You want to push vertical, you get that DB to commit his hips, and then you slip back underneath and you work this throw by. You could either swat the bottom of his hip, so like his left hip, or the top of his shoulder. Just don't extend and push. It's just like you're using his momentum to just swing by, but your hands want to be violent. Want to make sure your hands are violent, quick, explosive at the top of this thing. So you see how he swats him by, and then he gives just like that double jab to this blind spot. Now you see how much he throws his body to the blind spot, right? He commits his shoulders, commits his hips, actually throws his hip towards the sideline like this. That's what forces this DB to jump. That's what forces that DB to turn, because he can feel him and he feels that explosion into this blind spot, and that's what gets him to turn out of there. And when we can force that speed turn, he thinks you're just slipping this thing off, running it out. Maybe I've ran that before. Maybe I've done that a couple times before where I throw him by, slip on the out. This is just that fake throw by attacking that blind spot. That's why the blind spot works. Why is that? Doesn't have any help to the outside. He's going to overcommit to the outside. He wants you to go inside because he's got safety help there. But the more separation you could get from this dude, maybe there's a linebacker sitting over the top and you could just sit right in zone coverage right there. You never know, but you want to try to get as much separation from this guy as possible when he's outside shade in this situation. And again, when do we want to use this release? Not when we're first read, not when the quarterback needs to run this speed dig and get right there. It's when we have a little bit of time. He's going from left, then back to right, then back to you. So you could work this move at the top of the break. Let's watch this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by this receiver pushing vertical and then swatting him by, giving that move to that blind spot, and then getting out of there. Great route. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at how to run and attack this blind spot against zone coverage here. So we're going to be looking at Keenan Allen. He doesn't end up getting the ball in this play, but how do we know that it's zone, right? He's looking into the backfield and he's going to be turning, right? So again, if he's opening up like this, what does that mean? What we just talked about it. He's got safety help right here, right? But if I got to run like a comeback route or a stop route like Keenan Allen does, hell, even a curl route, where do you want to attack? You want to attack that blind spot and you want to try to threaten him vertical to move him off of there. Because against zone coverage, what do you need to do to run a fade? You come up right here, you close the distance with him, and then you give that little head fake to the inside. They call that a vertical set, and then you try to slip behind him, and then this ball's dropped over the top. Maybe it's like cover three, maybe it's only like one high safety. Give him that move to the inside, I slip back to the outside. Quarterback can take a shot and drop it downfield. So that's what we want to sell. And maybe when you're backside on a play, you work this all the time. You go that move to the inside and you slip back out and you let this DB feel it. You let him feel your speed. You let him feel that you're trying to get outside. So that's what I do right now. So I go here. I give him that vertical set. I push up vertical. And where's he at now? He's in that blind spot. That DB doesn't know where he's at. He's looking for the ball. You want to make him feel you in this spot. You want to make him feel that you're going vertical. And when he can feel that you're going vertical and he opens up and you're not there, or you get him to just at least stutter like he does, and I can get out of this break and come back to the ball, that's a recipe for separation. So you got to make sure, again, I think Allen could have maybe had a little bit crisper of a break right here and got out of it in a little bit more, got out of it in less time, just so this DB doesn't have as much time to react. But again, the ball wasn't going to him anyways. But that's what we got to be able to do. That's the key right there. Anytime you got to run a stop route, you got to run a comeback route, maybe you got to run an out route, any kind of outside breaking or route where you got to stop, that's how you run that from the outside against zone coverage like that. That's how you attack that blind spot against zone coverage. Watch the thing again, full speed. Great job by Allen coming out, giving that move, push to the blind spot, then snap this thing off and get out of the break. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, please leave those in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And again, fellas, 2-month-long specific wide receiver gym training program. It's not just a bunch of exercises thrown together. It's a specific program for wide receivers to improve their performance, their speed, explosiveness, power, things that will translate onto the field. Check out that very first link in the description, like I said before, and I'll see you guys next time.